Hey there, I'm Ian Baker, and today I'm going to show you how to remove and install a framed window in an RV, as well as what potential pitfalls to sidestep. RVs use framed and frameless windows, sliding, egress, and fixed pane windows, single and double pane windows, tinted and untinted windows. Windows may need to be removed for a variety of reasons. It could be broken glass, window seal shrinking, or to prep an area for structural repairs like changing metal siding or bonding fiberglass. Sometimes getting your RV into a shop for window replacement just isn't feasible. So regardless of whether your RV is still in warranty, here are potential impacts you should consider when deciding to remove and install the window on your own. Voiding the component warranty, collateral damage, tight seal, and secured fit. While it may not void the warranty on the whole RV, replacing a warranty window on your own affects the component warranty for the replaced window assembly, as well as any collateral damages subsequent to the do-it-yourself installation. You may be saying, Ian, what does all that mean? That's just a whole bunch of words. And well, of course, I'm not a lawyer, but if you feel you need to do so, definitely consult a legal professional. However, in plain English, here's basically what you're looking at. Any collateral damages subsequent to do-it-yourself installation refers to any future damage possibly related to that replaced window. For example, if your RV sustains water damage inside a sidewall because of a leak around the replaced window frame, that would fall under collateral damage. Another important consideration is sealing the window frame to prevent leakage, not only for moisture, but air as well. When running your AC or your heater, the goal, of course, is to control the RV climate without wasting any money and, of course, energy. Improper window installation may also lead to issues later on. The RV sidewall structure is designed to flex as the RV travels down the road. If the wrong sealants are used, the flexing range could be inhibited. Also, keep in mind the sealant itself may expand and contract with fluctuating environmental temperature. Plus, the wrong sealant won't adhere to the RV sidewall material, which is going to be aluminum or fiberglass. Another do-it-yourself installation issue you could run into is the original sidewall opening is not the correct size to hold the replacement window. If the opening is too small, then the window frame and glass would eventually buckle and break under the pressure, especially as the sidewall flexes during travel. If the opening is too large, well, then in addition to any potential water damage and of course air leakage, the window could actually fall out, and that would injure someone or damage nearby property, not to mention the vacant spot on the side of your RV. Although the replacement window is the standard size for your RV, the fact is that during any manufacturing process, an acceptable variation range is common practice. So Camping World service professionals are trained to work with window size variations to ensure secured window installation. So if you decide to accept the risks and liability of doing it yourself, here's how you can safely remove and replace a framed window. Before attempting to remove and replace your RV window, determine whether you have the proper tools, materials, and safety gear, because glass shards freaking hurt and can cause blindness if you aren't wearing eye protection. Before beginning, you should know that all RV windows should be installed with a sealing material, sometimes referred to as weather stripping, in between the frame and rough opening, and also cap sealed along the top half of the window exterior. The industry standard has been Butyl in the frame with the cap seal using clear, flexible, silicone-based sealant. Some manufacturers are now swapping Butyl for a foam seal in the frame, as well as using Geocell, a brand name silicone-based sealant with higher adhesive properties to cap seal the exterior top half of the window. So one question do-it-yourself RVers ask is, which sealant should I use, Butyl or foam? When replacing or reinstalling your RV window, use the same sealant type originally applied during manufacturing. We'll cover how to do this in step 4. Even though this sealant location is not visible, the reason for using the same sealant type is to maintain your RV to as close as mint condition as possible. And not only for resale value, but also to facilitate any reach-back maintenance support from the dealership or manufacturer. The service personnel you're working with will refer to the information in their system, or maybe even the original production design prints, when they're helping you troubleshoot an issue. Another question often asked, is Geocell better than other traditionally used silicone sealants? The answer is Maybe? Both are silicone-based sealants providing waterproof protection. GeoCell adheres to the RV sidewall more easily than the traditionally used silicone sealant. The long-standing industry-used silicone is easy to apply and relatively easy to remove. The drawback to the traditional silicone is that it would not stick to the sidewall surface if the surface was not completely dry and free of any residue that could be left behind by alcohol and any other cleaning solutions. Heads up, if your original window used the more adhesive GeoCell for the original cap seal, removal and cleaning will be much more challenging. Keep at it with a plastic putty knife. If you switch to metal tools to remove the GeoCell, you could potentially damage the sidewall. Now that we've covered the sealants, let's dive into step 1. You'll start by taking the measurement of the window, both height and width. Next, note the type of window being replaced, sliding, egress, or fixed pane. Also note if the glass is single or double pane. Note the location of the original window. Last, you'll want to identify the window manufacturer. Window manufacturers often etch markings on the lower right corner of the glass. I recommend simply taking a picture of the etchings on the glass. If the window is being changed under warranty, you'll give the specific information off the window to the dealership warranty administrator. If your RV was purchased outside of Camping World, then the dealership may redirect you to the original manufacturer for aftermarket parts. If your RV is already out of warranty, then these are the specifications you'll need to find a suitable replacement window. If you're getting a custom-made RV window, follow the measuring and ordering instructions provided by the custom window supplier. The custom supplier may direct you to measure the opening itself, which would be larger than the original window frame. Step 2. Assuming the window wasn't broken to begin with, we'll start the removal once you have the replacement window, so your RV isn't parked somewhere with a missing window. That way you can keep the outdoors, well, outdoors. First, remove all interior window coverings. Next, remove the trim ring on the interior of the window, starting from the bottom up. Before removing the last screw, remove the screen and slide open the window so you have a good gripping surface. If you can, ask a helper to stand outside the RV and safely guide the window as it comes out. Never push directly on the glass as it may shatter. If needed, you can push on the inner window frame to ease the window out of the opening. The empty area left behind is called a rough opening, which is a generic term for any opening where a window or compartment door would normally be installed. If your original RV window frame used butyl, the butyl may have formed a bond between the frame and rough opening. This is why you may have needed to push on the inner window frame. Again, never push directly on the glass as it could shatter. If you find a foam seal that was applied to the original RV window frame, the foam tape will likely remain firmly adhered to the window frame and leave the rough opening nice and clean. Once the window is removed, use a plastic putty knife to clean off any of the old silicone sealant that was used to cap seal the window exterior. Use a suitable cleaning solution and a little bit of elbow grease to remove any adhesive residue on the exterior surface. If your RV sidewall is aluminum, inspect the staples around the rough opening to make sure they're secured to the frame. Step 3. Next, do a dry fit in the rough opening with the new replacement window. The dry fit is to make sure the window fits properly in the rough opening. As we covered earlier, you need to inspect whether the replacement window fits too tightly or loosely in that opening. Test to make sure the window slides into the rough opening with ease. As I mentioned previously, a rough opening that is cut too small could cause the window frame to bend, the glass to shatter, or the sliding portion of the window to not move freely in the tracks. If the window does not fit properly during the dry fit test, contact the replacement window provider for another window. I do not recommend modifying the opening yourself. Step 4. For this step, let's take a closer look at the butyl versus foam seal. Butyl tape squishes and oozes into the space, providing full coverage. Sometimes butyl is generically called putty tape, which can confuse new do-it-yourselfers. Butyl is a higher-end type of putty tape. There are others that are drier and much harder to work with. Foam tape requires more finesse during installation in order to be as effective as butyl tape. If foam tape is not applied in the right position, then it won't expand properly and fill in the space. Again, be sure to replace it with the sealant type originally used during manufacturing. You can pick up butyl or foam tape at your nearest Camping World retail location. If you're unsure which sealant type was used on your window, snap a photo to show to one of your knowledgeable retail team members. If you're reinstalling the same window after completing adjacent repair work and you're working with butyl, you'll want to clean off the bulk of the original butyl. When removing it, you don't need to produce a squeaky clean frame. The new butyl will actually bond to the residue of the original butyl. Next, add the new butyl. Butyl tape is relatively easy to work with. If you're working with foam tape and you're resealing the same window, clean off the original foam tape. At the bottom of the window, start at the center and apply the new foam tape around the window frame with the tape flush with the inside edge. Make sure foam tape is not pinched or twisted during installation. Press the foam tape in place and remove the paper backing as you go in order to smoothly curve the tape around the window corners. Overlap the foam tape ends and cut to overlap length indicated on the foam tape product box, usually 3/8 to 1/2 inch. The overlapped ends should meet at the bottom of the window. If you're working with foam tape and you are reinstalling the same window, you may choose to keep the original foam tape. In this case, visually inspect original foam tape. Again, make sure the tape is not pinched or twisted during installation. Step 5. Place the window frame in the rough opening with the weep holes at the bottom. I know I sound like I'm beating a dead horse here, folks, but again, never push directly on the glass. And if you can, ask a helper to stand outside the RV and safely guide the window frame. Put the trim ring on the interior of the window, again, starting from the bottom up. When installing the new window, start all the screws, but don't torque them down yet. Once you have all the screws started, then you can go back and snug them all down. As you tighten the screws, any excess butyl tape will squeeze outside the window frame. So the next step is you'll want to trim that excess butyl using a plastic putty knife. Foam tape doesn't require any excess trimming. Step 6. The last step is to cap seal the window. You'll do this using a silicone-based sealant. Silicone, of course, will create a waterproof barrier. This type of sealant sets up quickly, so remember, time here is of the essence, and aim to get it right on the first try. If you've never worked with silicone before, here's what you'll do. Lay a bead of sealant. Immediately smooth the bead with your finger. I recommend licking it a little, and then immediately remove any excess sealant from the sidewall and window frame. RVers wonder why only half the window frame is sealed. Well, it's only necessary to seal the top half of the window exterior for 2 reasons. 1, the role of the exterior cap seal is to provide additional protection, blocking water runoff from above. It's actually the butyl or foam seal in between the window frame and the RV sidewall that does the heavy lifting, sealing in the area from water intrusion. The second reason, the window frame uses 2 weep holes for draining any water that gets into the window track when the window is left open. So the bottom half of the exterior is unsealed in order for the weep holes to do their job properly. Any water draining from the window track, as well as any water that gets in between the frame and opening, can run off down the sidewall because the bottom of the exterior window is not cap sealed. Sealing the bottom guarantees the water goes into the sidewall. That's a bad thing. By the time you see the after effects of water damage in the sidewall, fiberglass will pucker, and any wooden frame will rot, mold, or mildew. Another common question is, how far down the sides should I seal? Manufacturers and consequently repair shops generally seal about halfway down the sides of the window frame. The main consideration is making sure the exterior cap seal does not inhibit the runoff function of the window frame weep holes. I'll call this optional step 6B. Although it isn't required by the manufacturer, on the interior, not the exterior, you can seal all the way around the window frame for additional installation. This appears to be popular among a lot of RV full-timers. Be sure to use an appropriate sealant rated for interior use. Just remember that if you apply sealant on the interior wall, and if you ever need to remove and replace that window assembly, you'll have to remove the insulating sealant as well. You can find a few options at your nearest Camping World retail store. Flex Shot is a non-paintable option, while Gorilla Sealant is a sandable and paintable option. Click the thumbs up button if you apply insulating sealant on the interior of your RV, or leave your reason for disagreeing with this practice in the comments section below. Step 7. Let the sealants cure overnight. Once the window is sealed and is cured, carefully reinstall the interior window coverings. Next, sit back, relax, and admire your work because you are all done. If you've changed your mind about doing it yourself, you can trust the messy work to the trained maintenance professionals at your nearest Camping World Service Center. Thanks for joining me, folks. I'm Ian Baker, and if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and come back for more helpful tips and how-to information.